Hi, Genki Call here with Soulforge offerings for the week of September 12th, 2022. Before we get into what we have, let me show you what's left in the Mythic cycle for this Soulforge cycle. Many thanks to King Ollie, as always, for putting this list together. It's super helpful. Here you can see what we have left in this cycle. So if there is something on this list that you want more than what's in the Soulforge right now, I would recommend holding on to your diamonds. But anyway, what we do have in the Soulforge right now, it's kind of mixed right now because I can't afford a mythic right now. I cashed in all of my shards. This is just yesterday. Anyway, so for the legendaries, we've got Kraken. Let's get Kraken, who's mostly useful for events. I did not mean to click there. There is a 35% chance to devour the last enemy, just straight up, but it's just depending on that 35% is not the greatest of ideas. It does hit two enemies though, so it is good for events, and does 3 damage to all enemies on 4+ gem matches. Other legendaries we have in here are Tinseltail. I generally do not like troops that do the either or type of spell. Not my favorite. I just really don't like that mechanism, but straight up going to give all allies 4 magic. That's very helpful. And then a 50% chance for each of the following: damage to all enemies, explode 8 random gems, and or give all allies life. So this troop is actually really fun to use, and it's super cute too. And it does fairy fire a random enemy when matching green gems. You don't even have to have a match for, you just need to match green gems. So I like this one a lot. The other 2 more we've got here, Charybdis, another one that devours. Damage to the first and last enemy with independent 10% chances to devour the enemies, boosted by 3% for each submerged ally and enemy. It's a lot to say. Plus, gains 10 life when matching 4+ gems. Yeah, he's okay. He's not amazing, but he's okay. Ulfharigan is actually pretty useful. True damage to 3 random enemies, and if the enemy is wounded, do 10 extra damage. So if you're running, if they have any true damage on them at all, he's going to do 10 extra damage. Whether that's true damage or just damage to the armor, though, I don't actually know. I'd never thought about it. But as far as these legendaries go, would I recommend crafting any or all of them? And the answer is no. There are only a few legendaries in this game that are worth spending 800 diamonds on to get, unless you just have to have them for the kingdom's power level, or you're dying to use that troop on a specific team. Otherwise, generally not going to be worth it. None of these, in my opinion, are worth it. As far as the mythics go, Ubastet. Ubastet. I would like to have this troop. However, I have one kingdom that is blocked at power level 9, and both of the mythics for that kingdom are coming up in the cycle, so I will not be crafting Ubastet. Damage to the 2 weakest enemies boosted by all ally and enemy attack with a 6-to-1 ratio. And if one of the enemies dies, then kill the other one. There are only a few troops that are immune to that. There are the towers. Jasmine, get off of my lap. She's trying to chew on my cord. The towers. So in the tower event or Leonis Tower, there's Enraged Kurindara, there are the Dooms, and there is Raid Boss Zul'Goth. Other than that, nothing is immune to this spell as far as lethal damage goes. That's it. So, also, the rest of this is okay. He's not considered to be a fantastic mythic at this point, but I want him. Ceiling Cat is watching you. Ah, that's funny. But anyway, he is very useful. I've seen some really nice teams with him, and I've gotten my butt beaten by him more than once. So, yeah, I don't think he's a terrible mythic at all. Then we've got the Shade of Zorn, who is a terrible mythic. Hello, here we go. Damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and skulls with a times 4 boost ratio, and if the enemy dies, summon 2 Fists of Zorn, which are arguably more useful than he is. Just bad. The Groshnak mythics are considered to be some of the worst in the game. There's Shade of Zorn and Gargantor. I crafted Gargantor because Groshnak needed it for the power level there, and he's terrible too. They're just they're just not good at all. So I wouldn't recommend unless you need to power level up there in Groshnak. Aquaticus. Ooh, Aquaticus. I don't have Aquaticus. That is another one I would like to have. Not super useful, except, well, the spell isn't amazing. It's explode half of the blue gems on the board. I mean, Azura, who you get for free just for completing the storyline at Merlantis, explodes all of the blue gems on the board. So, that needs to change to really make her viable, more viable, and it's light splash damage, so um it's not even going to do half of that damage to the adjacent troops. It's only going to do a quarter of that damage to the adjacent troops. So, yeah, not great. What is nice about her is submerge all allies when matching 4+ gems. That is very useful when you're fighting a team like Queen Beatrix or anything that does damage to all enemies, scatter damage, anything like that. Super useful because you can't hit a submerged troop with that kind of damage. So, but besides that, not super useful. But then again, I don't have her. Mambasira. 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 She has this range of damage that she does, but it's to 6 random enemies. Now, if you can raise her magic or use her with Verifier, she's a lot more useful. Also, she has this lovely all green allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn, which is very useful as well. I keep saying useful, don't I? Well, it fits. So, I'm really tired, sorry. I like to use Mamba with Treachery, who's going to give +4 to all skills to all Naga allies every time you get a match for. So that raises up her magic, that makes her hit harder. I like this troop. I've used her quite a bit in the past, but as far as this type of thing goes, there are much stronger mythics, but she's good. She's good. And then I believe that is it for the Soulforge mythics. The others are always here. As for weapons, oh, we've got some good stuffs in here. Not fantastic, but we've got some good stuff in here. So we've got the Elemental Bow, really strong. Damage to an enemy boosted by elemental allies and create a mix of 6 blue and green gems for each elemental ally. Super nice. It's really nice. And it entangles the first enemy and creates a leaf storm. So if you're going to be using elementals, and now we have the elementalist class, so lots of elementals use blue and green, so this is going to be a very useful weapon if you like to use that kind of mechanism as far as mana gen goes. Then we've got the Oaken Crown. Damage to an enemy boosted by Forest of Thorns allies. This is specific to Forest of Thorns with a mix of green and yellow gems for each Forest of Thorns ally. If you were going to craft one of these, I would say to definitely go for the Elemental Bow. But there's something better here. Yes, there is. We'll get to that in a minute. This is one of those epic troops, nice and cheap, 75 diamonds if you need it for the power level. This is a good choice if you're low on diamonds. Remove all green gems. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by the gems removed. And if they're from Forest of Thorns, you know, the usual thing that we've got going on now with for the double damage. It's not amazing, but you know, it is 75 diamonds instead of more, 300. So the Hammer of Force. Damage to an enemy with a 4% chance to kill them, boosted by elemental enemies. So you'll get an extra 4% chance to kill them for each elemental because of the boost ratio here. And that's you know, up to 16% or 20% depending on how it's being counted. Chance to kill. It's not great. Um, and it looks like it creates a firestorm as well, which feeds back into itself, which is, you know, nice, but it's, you know, it's kind of a forgettable weapon in my opinion. And then we have the Amethyst band. Ooh, shiny. I love this weapon. I've loved this weapon. Explode green gems, grant a random status effect to all elf allies, then summon an elf troop. It's one of my favorite types of weapons in the game, and I use it all the time. The colors are different than a lot of the other mana gen explode green gem troops we've got, our weapons we've got, and it will also, um, sorry, it will, looks like it blesses itself. I'm not sure. I think radiant means bless, but the curing means that it will cleanse you as well when you cast. So anyway, I like this weapon a lot. If I was going to pick one personally, of course, I would go for the Amethyst band. After that, Elemental Bow, and then Oaken Crown. Or the Bow of Thorns if you just need it for your power level. So that's what I've got for you for the Soulforge today. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye!